Welcome once again to SoCo Chat, a podcast where we hear directly from county leaders, discuss the latest news, and talk about all things concerning our beautiful corner of California known as Sonoma County. Greetings, everyone. I'm your host, Paul Gullickson, Communications Manager for the County of Sonoma, and it's great to be back with you. Today, we're talking about open doors. No, it's not an invitation to rediscover one of my favorite rock bands from the 60s, although I would like to note that it was 60 years ago this fall that Jim Morrison and his friends first began recording. We'll have to save that for another session. But no, today's topic is a new initiative here in Sonoma County that is designed to make it even easier for the residents to get residents of our area to get the help they need, whether it's food, housing, childcare, or many other types of assistance. The program is based on the concept that it doesn't matter which door you knock on first, whether it's one of the county's 23 departments and agencies or one of the hundreds of local nonprofits that are joining in this effort. Every door will be open and will lead you to get the services that you need. Our guest today is Angela Struckmann, Director of the Sonoma County Human Services Department, which is leading this campaign, and we're eager to talk to her about this. But before we do, as always, we want to start with our trivia question for the week, and appropriately enough, our question is this. The Human Services Department is the largest department in the county government. You may not know that. Our question is, how many divisions does it operate? And for a bonus question, what are the names of these divisions? Be the first to call or email us with the correct answer, and you'll win one of our limited edition SoCo Chat coffee mugs or one of our other prizes. Call us at 707-565-2242 or email us at publicaffairs, one word, at sonomacounty.gov. So good luck with that. Now, let's jump into today's show. Angela, welcome back. It's great to see you and great to have you on SoCo Chat.
Thanks, Paul. It's good to be here.
Yeah, well, it's been an exciting time, a busy time for you, and we're going to get into some of that. But let's start with the big picture here of the open doors. What's the problem we're trying to solve for people in Sonoma County with this new program?
I would say there are a couple things. One is that programs often tend to be siloed. So whether that's programs within the county of Sonoma or between the county and the nonprofit community. And we're really looking to break down those silos and make it much easier for people to access services across different programs and different organizations. The other thing is we really want to minimize the amount of time that people have to go to different locations and tell their story over and over and try to figure out where they get which service, which really can impact especially individuals that have transportation issues or mobility issues or things like that. So we're really looking to break down silos and make it much easier for people to get the help they need.
Well, as somebody who's been dealing with our healthcare system, I know that frustration very well. So I appreciate where you're going. So what exactly is Open Doors? Is it a website or what else is it?
So it's a couple things. It is a website. Again, Human Services led the charge to put that together. And it primarily gives resources around safety net services, which are things like you mentioned, food, childcare, transportation, services for certain populations. So it's a robust website, very easy to use in multiple languages. And that's the primary piece of Open Doors that we have available now to the community to find the services that they need. But it's beyond that, a culture change, I would say. We are building a culture both in our county departments and with our community partners so that we are looking at a whole person and all of the needs that they have, no matter where they come in the door. So they could come to a county department, they could come to a nonprofit organization, and we're really wanting to create a culture where no matter where somebody shows up, their needs are being looked at holistically and they're being connected to services regardless of whether those services live at the place where they showed up.
Okay, so they're not being sent away to the next desk or the next door. So
yeah, we'll never quite achieve somebody going to one location and literally being able to get all the services. But if those services are located elsewhere, we would like to at least be able to do a warm handoff or make sure that they get connected to that service before they physically leave the building.
yeah. Well, I love the idea of the description of a culture change, and I'd like to dive into that a little more. Paint a picture for listeners. What is the culture that's changing here? What was it like prior to this open door policy?
I think generally, when someone would come for assistance, they would have a certain program in mind, and staff or nonprofits might help them with that specific program and not always know what else was
What else was
available or what
available?
else they might need.
Yeah.
And so this is really, wanting to change that so that when somebody is sitting in front of one of our staff or a nonprofit organization, that the culture is that we're really taking the time when we can to ask that person a broader range of questions so that we can really find out all of their needs, regardless of what they came in for.
Yeah. Well, it seems to me that there's a lot that requires a lot of staff training as well, that they need to understand the bigger picture here so that they can make sure that the services are being provided, right?
Absolutely. There's some training involved.
Mm-hmm.
We've also put together some materials, some resource brochures and things like that we are making sure that all of our public lobbies have access to.
Okay.
So the staff will be able to walk people through the different resources that are most commonly asked for.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can use that website that we've created to connect people with even additional resources beyond that. We've worked very closely across departments in the county to make sure that everybody has input into this process and knowledge of the culture we're building, as well as doing that with our community partners.
Yeah, well, that seems like a critical component. So that's wonderful. So how does Open Doors actually work? If somebody listening today, for example, one needs childcare or housing support, what's the best first step for them?
The best first step, if they'd like to access us online, would be go to the Open Doors website, which is opendoorsSC for SonomaCounty.com. If someone has challenges using technology, they can certainly come to, in person to our buildings or to nonprofits that they're familiar with and comfortable with, and receive the services that way as well. And then if someone prefers to call and get connected with resources over the phone, they would call 211. Which is an agency that we are partnering closely with in this effort. And 211 has been around for a long time, so people may know that to go to for resources. But we are closely partnering with the Open Doors campaign to have that as our call center for these resources.
Just want to make a note, 211, not 911. As we've had talked about in this program before, 211 is a great resource for all kinds of information if people need help getting access to information.
Absolutely.
So,
211 is not for emergency services. It's for resources, mainly around safety net needs.
Yeah, it's a wonderful resource. So who are the people you're most hoping to connect with this new Open Doors program?
A wide range of people, primarily those who need safety net services. So again, maybe help with food or medical coverage, childcare, transportation. We serve populations like older adults and people with disabilities, veterans, families with young children, or individuals that are maybe low income and need help with housing. So really a lot of the communities that may be more vulnerable and need these services. We also work closely with our immigrant populations and have some specific resources for that population as well through the Open Doors website.
And I imagine sometimes people come in with multiple needs, right? And so having that kind of open door program, you can identify all what their needs are and make sure they get the support they need, right?
Absolutely. I think in the past, to go onto the county website, someone may need to know what department a certain program lived in. And on the Open Doors website, they can choose just a category if they need food or they need help with transportation. And they don't need to know where that lives, but they just need to know what it is that they want to access, and it will give them all of the resources around that need.
Yeah. Well, one striking thing about Open Doors is how many different groups it's really designed to help, as you just identified. I mean, including older adults, the immigrant community. How do you build something that that meets the needs of such a diverse community, and where there are language barriers in some cases? What's your thoughts about that?
Well, it's certainly a collaboration. So we worked, again, very closely with all county departments that are in the safety net. We worked closely with our community partners. And so gathering all of that input about how to connect best with all of those different communities was really key to making this a successful effort. And Human Services has a very wide range of programs just within our department. And so we're used to working with all of these populations and serving the needs that are unique to each population.
That's wonderful. Well, how does this? What does this mean to you personally? I mean, I know you and I have talked about the need to break down silos here at the county and the community. How does this speak to the things that you think we need as a county?
You know, I'm really passionate about making sure that people have access to services, that people have the supports that they need to really realize everything they want in life and have opportunities and thrive and be included. So it feels to me that this effort really helps us reach communities and community members even better than we're able to do through our typical services and programs.
Yeah.
And to me, you know, that really is the embodiment of our service to the community, is to be able to reach everyone in the community and serve their unique needs so that everybody has opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you and I've talked before. It's heartbreaking when we know of people in the community that have needs and are eligible for services that we can provide, but there's just been a disconnect that they're not aware of it or how they can access those services. And I know you're trying to bridge those gaps.
Even beyond open doors, we will always continue to find ways to connect with community members that are maybe not able to access our services as well, or that we know are out there and for whatever reason are not
connected,
availing themselves of services. So we are always going to continue to look for ways to do that better.
Yeah, excellent. So why launch this now? What's changed in our community right now, or state and federal level, that makes this a good time to do this?
There are a variety of things, some of which are maybe funding related. So there are a lot of changes with the state and federal government and funding. So programs are changing. Some of the funding that people received during the pandemic has gone away.
Right.
I think there's rapidly changing information out there, and not all of it is accurate. And so it's really, I think the timing is great to be a resource for people as other programs are unfortunately maybe going away, or information, again, is confusing and they need a place to go to where they can trust the information.
Yeah.
I think the timing is really good given all of those circumstances.
Yeah, that's a really good point. There is a lot of confusion out there about what's still available. And I'd like to note that right now we're recording this. We're on the verge of a possible government shutdown at the federal level. And I just want to mention that in general terms, my question to you is is there going to be an impact to those services you're providing here at the local level? What are your thoughts on that?
There will not be any immediate impacts.
Okay.
So given a short government shutdown, we have reserves, the state has reserves, services will continue as usual. If it were a longer shutdown, we would really need to take a look at that. But I don't have any worries at this point that we can weather a short shutdown and services will continue.
So the message to the public is, yes, there may be a federal government shutdown, but we're not shut down. You're continuing to provide your services here at the local level.
That's correct. And I hope everyone will continue to come in and access those services.
Yeah, good. Thank you for making that point. Well, let's get back to talking about open doors. As we've discussed, not everybody has access to the internet or doesn't have the technology they need to access websites. How are you making open doors available to those who are not online? They don't have access. How can they make sure that you're reaching those people?
That would be primarily either through calling 211 if people are okay using the phone.
Good.
Or if they would like to go to their trusted local nonprofit organization, they will have the information as well. So we really want it to be widespread for people who both want to show up in person to an organization, people who are comfortable using the phone. I also do want to mention that the website is mobile friendly. So if people on their phones would like to access that, they can easily navigate the resource information on their phone.
Excellent. So let's look back. Let's look 5 years ahead. Imagine we're down the road and you're looking back at the launch. What will you know? How will we know that whether this is successful or not? And what is your hope that you'll see at that time?
There are a few ways we could measure that. I think looking at the utilization of our website and the calls to 211 and sort of knowing that word is getting out there that this resource is available.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see increases in our programs. So to know that more people are accessing the services that they need and that we have available for them.
Mm-hmm.
And again, as I mentioned, that we would maybe even find additional ways to reach communities that we're not fully reaching at this point. And that may be enhancements to the Open Doors campaign or other ways that we figure out how to get out to the community. Yeah. So just increased service delivery, increased utilization of the resources would be great, and I think a measure of success.
Well, that's great. Well, we hope to keep this conversation with you going. We can give the public an updates on how's it's going and how the progress is going. So, but anyway, we applaud you for this and encourage people. Once again, would you remind people what the website is that they should go to?
The website is opendoorsSC.com.
One word, Open Doors SC.
Yes, one word. So Open Doors SC, which stands for SonomaCounty.com. And it should be a very easy to use website. Again, multiple languages. You can select your language right on the first page, and it will hopefully get to everything that anyone would ever need.
And if you forget that, call 211.
Yes.
And you'll get the answers you need there.
Absolutely.
Well, Angela, we can't thank you enough for being here today. It's always great to talk to you. As a thank you gift, we'd like to give you another SoCo Chat mug, or you can have one of the water flasks, whichever one you'd like. We appreciate having you. We'd also like to invite our listeners to have a chance to get one of our mugs or one of our other items. Answer this week's be the first to answer this week's trivia contest, and you can win one of our prizes. Our question again this week is: the Human Services Department is the largest department in the county government system. Our question is, how many divisions does it operate? And for a bonus gift, what are their names? If you know, call us at 707-565-2242 or email us at publicaffairs@sonomacounty.gov. And be sure to include your phone number so we can let you know if you won. And also, if you have comments about this or any other episode or have a suggestion for a future topic for SoCo Chat, please shoot us a note or give us a call at that same address, publicaffairs@sonomacounty.gov. Anyway, we thank you all for joining us once again, and we hope you continue to follow SoCo Chat on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and YouTube. Until next time, thank you.